Hi guys, and today I'll be playing Mine. So the game is about Keith here. So this is Keith, who's consumed by a very relentless obsession with us, and will stop at nothing to captivate and win over the player's heart. So let's play. Oh, there is a little knife. How cute. Yes, it's very dark. Okay. Horror, romance. I wouldn't know what genre to choose. A good book should depend on the genre of the story. Since a very young age, I've had a great interest in literature. My mother used to write at home, and I was both drawn to the different emotions that her story evoked in me. When I turned 18, I went to college to pursue a career in publishing. I would spend hours reading and analyzing in my room, putting in my maximum effort to obtain my degree. Although literature was my great passion, I couldn't fulfill my dream. So now reading books are just a hobby for me. Oh, that sucks.
Hi.
Oh, what's that thing? I observed the boy standing in front of me. How bad must be sleep hours to have such dark circles?
My name is Keith.
Oh, hi.
I'm the librarian. With whom do I have the pleasure?
I am. Let's come up with the normal sounding name. I can't come up with a name. Susan. Or Susie. That's right.
Hello. It's a pleasure to meet you. How can I assist you?
I'm looking for a good book.
Great. What kind of book do you like? Personally, I enjoy horror books, but I also like romance books.
Okay.
Do you like romance? What are your favorite genres?
Romance, action, horror. Would I like horror? I like horror. He chuckled slightly. I feel a bit embarrassed about my preference.
I see. So you're a true fan of horror books.
Yes.
Do you prefer old school 80s horror or modern horror? Or do you enjoy both?
I feel like 80s is better. I think any type of horror is good.
Okay. Then perhaps you will like this recommendation.
Take a book from the shelf and hand it to me. I observed the cover and it convinces me enough. I look at it again and I smile. Thank you. I'll take your suggestion.
You're welcome. You can keep it. It's a gift from me.
This is quite unusual coming from an employee. If he is always giving away books, how is his bookstore going to function?
It might be strange, but I'm interested in seeing your taste in books. I can tell you're not just any person who simply buys books. Would you be interested in joining me for a coffee?
Very smooth.
My shift ends in a few minutes. You don't have to wait for me. I'll invite you.
Okay, so we have a choice here. I'm gonna save. But I'm gonna go along with it, cause yes, I don't know, no. Let's say yes. Alright, let's go for a coffee then. I usually have nothing else to do right now. A smile of joy forms on his lips. He seems somewhat nervous.
There's a nice cafe nearby. Let me take you there.
Okay. We arrive at a rustic and beautiful cafe, a place filled with the scent of plants and coffee, creating an aromatic and intricate combination.
What kind of coffee do you like?
Ugh, I don't know how people like black. It's nasty. Let's do cappuccino.
I like it too. I enjoy how sweet cappuccino can be.
Keith walks up to the counter and orders the coffees. Then he approaches where I'm seated, holding a cup of coffee in each hand. He hands me a cup of coffee as he sits across from me, giving me a smile and starting to sip from his own cup. Okay, what would you like to talk about? I asked as I gaze at my coffee, which is lightly decorated with heart-shaped cream design. The steam from the coffee releases a delightful sweet aroma.
Tell me about yourself. What kind of hobbies do you enjoy?
I enjoy literature, as you may have already noticed.
Have you ever thought about studying anything related to it?
He smiles at me as he takes another sip of his coffee. Yes, but unfortunately I'm not good
I'm
enough.
sure you are. And do you have a boyfriend?
He asked, playing with his coffee cup in his hands, seeming a little bit nervous. Why would you be interested in knowing that?
Well, I'm just trying to get to know you better.
How about you tell me more about yourself instead?
What would you like to know about me? I'll tell you anything you want to know. Just ask me.
What do you enjoy doing? He lets out a sigh, staying silent for a while as he's thinking of what to respond.
I have many hobbies. My favorite pastime is writing. I enjoy writing novels. Not to brag, but I'm I'm good at writing love stories. In fact, I'm working on writing my own love story.
He giggles.
It's not a real story, though. It's a story about two people who can't be together. That's why I enjoy writing, as I am the only one who can decide how the story ends.
Why do you work in a bookstore?
Well, it's been a dream of mine since I was a child. Reading has always been a source of comfort for me. I suppose I've always loved books so much.
But why do you love books?
I love stories. The way they can transport you to places far from reality. Books have the ability to make you laugh, cry, and teach you things. Books are like windows to the world. I hope it's not strange, but since I saw you, I had that feeling. Something I've never experienced before.
Oh, that's nice. Really?
You know, I truly believe it. To tell you the truth, I do feel fortunate to have met you. Even though I'm a complete stranger and keep talking about things that might not interest you, you have been so kind to me. You are beautiful and intelligent. You don't have to respond to that if you don't want to.
I mean, you start stuff as normal. Answer or ask something else. The room's is it getting darker or are we just, let's answer. Why not? Thank you very much. You're equally as kind, and I enjoy spending time with you.
It's a relief.
Okay, do we have, still ask it anyway, do you have any pets?
Yes, I have a cat. Her name is Kishi. I truly love my cat. She is the perfect pet. She's very affectionate and beautiful. I try to take Kishi everywhere I go. When I go to work, I always bring her with me. People seem to enjoy coming to a bookstore and finding an animal sleeping on the counter. She's a very adorable kitty, and I hope you get to meet her soon.
I glance at my wristwatch and realize that it's late. How long have we been talking?
I don't know, a few hours, I guess. Do you want to leave now?
He looks at me as if he's expecting me to say no. He gets up from his chair and puts money for the coffee on the table.
I know a beautiful place I'd like to take you to. Would you like to sit somewhere else and admire the starry night?
Okay. The invitation sounds lovely. It's been a while since I went out to appreciate the night. He approaches me and offers his hand.
What do you say? Do you accept?
Okay, I'll spend more time with you. I take his hand and look into his eyes. He looks at me with surprise as a glimmer of hope grows in his face. He guides me out of the cafe. Keith wears a small smile on his face. He continues to hold my hand as we walk, looking around as if trying to find the place. The night sky is visible in all its splendor, adorned with bright stars, and the moon illuminates the street with a soft light. I can hear the occasional sounds of wind rustling and the leaves of the trees moving. I don't know why I trust Keith so much when I just met him. I've never been so careless, being with a stranger at night, and not knowing where he's taking me. A shiver runs through my body. I try to pull my hand away, but he holds it firmly, seemingly not wanting to let go. What should I do? I agreed to go out with a complete stranger. We arrive at a park with tall trees. As we venture into the park, sound of our footsteps blend with the rustling of branches and crunching leaves. We stop at one end of the park, where there is a bench under two trees, filtering the moonlight. No one else is in the park. Fear and cold air makes me tremble involuntarily. He looks at me intently for a few seconds, smiles, and then releases my hand.
I discovered this place when I was 12 years old. I was going through a lot of troubles at home, and one day I escaped, trying to find silence and peace.
Nice.
That's when I found this place, and I realized that this lonely park is a hidden treasure.
I managed to regain my calmness, and I observed the place carefully. I breathed slowly and let the beauty of the night completely envelop me. It's not as bad as it seems. Why was I so paranoid? It's clear that Keith is a good person with good intentions. I gave the moment a chance and admired the night. Despite the darkness, small lights illuminate the grass and trees. I like this place.
Wait, I want you to see something beautiful, but I need you to cover your eyes.
Okay. Cover my eyes, this time without fear. I hear him moving around, going back and forth. Once again, I hear his footsteps approaching me.
You can open your eyes now.
Oh, it's so nice.
Watch this.
He opens his hand, releasing beautiful fireflies that illuminate our faces as we watch them. Some fireflies remain in his palms while others start to fly. I look up at Keith's face, our eyes connecting. I can see his eyes clearly, shimmering sparks decorating his eyes as he looks at me calmly. Thank you so much for showing me this.
You don't have to thank me. Someone as special as you deserves to see things like these.
We stayed in silence. The atmosphere feels cozy and quiet, and we both knew that the silence was just to truly enjoy the present moment. Despite not wanting to leave, it's too late to stay out any longer. I should go home now, it's very late.
Sure. Let me accompany you to your house.
Okay. We leave the park without saying anything, walking calmly by each other's side. Taking the chance to change my routine wasn't a bad idea after all. However, making this decision won't completely change my life. Right? After a while, we arrive at the door of my house, and I stop and look back at Keith. I take the keys out of my pocket and open the door to my house. I waved goodbye from inside and closed the door. I enter my room and gaze at my bed, longing to sleep immediately. I lie down and let out a sigh of relief. I really need to enjoy the comfort of my bed. Finally, I'm going to rest. Who's knocking? End of day 1. Oh. I have a terrible headache, so much that I can't even open my eyes. I gather enough strength to open my eyes and finally get up. What? I feel a pressure in my chest as I look around and everything seems different. I saw a large room with cement walls, a concrete floor, and a drain in one corner of the place. There was a small-sized mattress, a desk, and a chair. A single light bulb in the center of the room illuminates almost everything without any windows. I can't comprehend what's happening, but I can feel panic slowly overtaking me. I startle as I hear some knocks on the door and I hear his voice. Can I come in, my dear? Man, he was starting to have great. Why do you have to do all this? I remain silent, feeling like I'm losing control of my body as I see those green eyes. I watch as he enters the room and locks the door again. I try to get up from the mattress, but I'm too dizzy. I'm too dizzy to do so, so I just stay seated. I'm sorry, it seems like the effects of the chloroform haven't worn off yet. What am I doing here? Where am I? I managed to ask with a trembling voice. This is my special room. He speaks while still smiling, approaching me. I tried to distance myself from him, but he grasped my wrist. Let me go, please. His grip is strong and firm, not allowing me to move. Oh no, my dear, I can't do that. Her grip tightened slightly, almost to the point of pain. His expression turned serious, completely devoid of a smile. Why are you doing this to me? He releases a sigh and then lets go of my wrist. He remains silent for a moment, as if contemplating what to say in response. You must understand, I'm doing this for you. I care about what's best for you, and I want you to be happy. His expression softens again, and his hand reaches forward to gently caress my cheek, as if he wants to comfort me. Don't touch me, I scream with a breathy voice, moving my face to avoid his touch, his eyes locked onto mine. He lets out a second sigh, as if trying to calm himself. He takes a step back to sit in the desk chair. I'm so sorry, my dear, he says, trying to sound as gentle as possible. After I raise my voice, seems he didn't like it. I don't want to plead here. Please let me go. Explain to me why you want that. I'm scared. I speak stubbornly, feeling the fear increasing with every minute. Please speak clearly. What scares you? He clenches his fists tightly, his knuckles turning white. Seems like he's trying his best effort to not raise his voice, but he appears to be extremely angry. I remain silent, trying to process the situation and understand what is happening. I am being kidnapped, I whispered to myself, very audible so Keith couldn't hear. Tears started to drain down my cheeks, feeling all hope escaping from my body. Speak before my patience runs out. He looks at me, waiting for a response. Please, don't hurt me. I managed to respond with the little strength I have left, breaking into tears. He places his hand on my shoulders. This time I remain silent. I promise you I won't hurt you. You will always be safe with me, my dear. His voice is softer, comforting me. He smiles gently, stroking my hair and tucking it behind my ear. I love you so much. His words sound sweet due to the genuinely soft tone, but they only terrify me. You're sick. Leave me alone. I shout, filled with fear, feeling Keith getting angry at my act. He approaches me quickly and grabs my arm forcefully, shaking me slightly, managing to scare me. You want solitude? Then you'll have it. He leaves me and exits the room. I start crying while hugging my legs, resting my head on my knees as I close my eyes. How could this happen to me? I keep crying, having the most terrifying thoughts I've ever had. I'm going to die here, I tell myself, accepting my fate as I break down in tears. I feel increasingly exhausted. I can feel the tears lulling me to sleep. I jump up in alarm as Keith enters the room with a tray of food in his hands. How long did I sleep for? I'm so sorry, my dear. I don't know what came over me. He hands me a tray of food with a warm smile, his tone of voice turning loving again, and the anger has dissipated. As an apology, I prepare waffles with strawberries and blueberry smoothie. I hope you like them and forgive me for my previous actions. Thanks. Pulls a chair in front of the bed and sits across from me. I feel uneasy, but I start eating. He remains there, watching me, almost as if he can't take his eyes off me. I enjoy the food. It's truly delicious. I don't know how long it's been since I've eaten. The delicious sweet scent fills the entire room, and I can feel the musty smell fading away. After finishing everything on the plate, I feel satisfied. I'm glad you enjoyed what I prepared for you, my dear. Hope you're enjoying your time here. He looks at me as if he's expecting some affirmation. I say nothing. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. All I want is for you to be happy. With me. His voice sounds so sweet as he speaks to me. It's strange to think that beneath the charming, kind exterior I initially saw, there lies a harsh and dangerous person. Are you tired? Have you been sleeping well? His demeanor continues to sound calm, as if he wants to make me feel safe. All these questions are asked with a tone of love. I want to make sure you're getting enough rest. I'm tired, I say, hoping he'll leave me alone. Okay, then I'll let you rest. His eyes glance at me for a moment before he turns around and exits the room. I lie down on the bed and cover myself. My heart rate slows down as my nerves calm down. This feels like a nightmare, a real nightmare. Is this all real? Is it actually happening? I close my eyes, trying to rest, hoping that when I wake up tomorrow, everything will be a bad dream. This is end of day 2. I open my eyes slowly. I remember the previous day, then I wake up abruptly. I'm still here. The door opens and Keith enters with a serious expression. He smiles when he notices I'm awake. Good morning, dear. Did you sleep well? Yes, I slept well. I'm glad to hear that you had a good sleep. He clears his throat before speaking and remains silent for a few more seconds. Dear, I want you to make me a promise. I'm yours and you're mine, right? I promise to love you always, no matter what happens, and I'll help you in whatever you need. I want you to promise me that you will always love me, okay? He takes my word very seriously. He looks happy after my promise, gazing at me with a sparkle in his eyes, as if he's truly in love. I'm glad to know that I can trust you completely. I have breakfast ready in the living room. It's time to eat, dear. He leaves the room, leaving the door open. I hesitate as I look towards the door, unsure if I should follow him. I feel so much safe being trapped inside this room. I get out of bed and walk out of the room. Keith is waiting for me, seated at the table with a smile. I head to the table, sit across from Keith to keep some distance. A plate full of cinnamon rolls and cookies with chocolate chips and a jug of orange juice. I made a lot just in case you were really hungry. His face glows with happiness as I serve myself. The food choices seem like something a child would pick. There are many sweet flavors for a first meal. I join him on the eating, yet I continue to look at him with distrust. Even when I'm eating, my head is filled with thoughts. The food is truly delicious, I can't deny it. I wonder if Keith is the one who cooks the meals. Keith also enjoys his food, eating too quickly as if he hasn't eaten in a long time. He looks at me, his face slightly turning around when he notices me watching him. He avoids my gaze and clears his throat, trying to calm his nerves. Is there anything I can do to make you feel more comfortable? What about showing me around the place? Right, everything must seem strange to you. He gets up from his chair and walks to my side. He tries to hold my hand, but I pull away. The sensation of touching him makes me feel awkward. His gaze tightens slightly, but he seems to understand. Follow me and I'll show you to the kitchen. I get up from my chair and follow Keith through a small kitchen that connects to the living room. I can see various ingredients scattered, yet the kitchen doesn't look dirty. I'll clean up here later. I tend to be a bit messy when I cook. He lets out a nervous chuckle, perhaps thinking I'm judging him. He clears his throat and heads to another direction. I take one last glance at the kitchen and follow him. We enter a large room that smells strangely of the perfume I wear. There's a big bed with sheets and perfectly arranged pillows. There are many pictures of me on the walls. That is uncomfortable. Oh, what a terrible memory I have. Let me introduce you to Kishi. Kishi, sweetheart, come out from under the bed. After a few seconds, a black kitten emerges from under the bed. The little kitten yawns and stretches, and Keith crashes down and picks her up. Do you like cats? What should I say? Yes? Me too. I don't see Kishi as a pet. She is a part of my family. Do you want to hold her? I approach and take the kitten in my arms. I will go over to the bed, sit down, and place her on my lap. Her yellow eyes gaze at me curiously as she begins to sniff me. I try to stroke her, and her fur is incredibly soft. Kitten seems a bit wary of my touch. After a while, she gets used to it and seems to enjoy it. I can hear her stop purring as she settles on my legs. I smile at how comfortable I feel, continuing to stroke the kitten. He looks up at me, and his smile grows when he sees that I'm also smiling. That's amazing, she likes you. If I'm honest, it's strange that she relaxes with someone who isn't me. But I'm glad she does. Maybe it's a sign. His expression quickly changes from happy to serious and concerned. I have to go for a moment. His voice sounds a bit rough as he speaks, as if he doesn't like the idea of leaving me alone. I have to work, and I need you to stay here. I won't be long, I promise. Keith gets up and walks to the living room, and I do the same, following him. He opens the door that seems to lead outside, gives me a forced smile before locking the door. I need to come up with a plan to escape from here. Kill him, run away. Do we even have a knife? Let me save first. Return. Let's try to run. It's the best thing to do. I should hurry to avoid being caught. I search for a lamp or matches in case I need them. I'm not sure how long it will take. I start searching different areas in the room. I check under the sofa, move cushions, and search through the furniture. I only managed to find matches. It's not enough, but I suppose it will do. I approach the principal door hesitantly and open it wide. I'm taken aback. It's unbelievable that he forgot to lock the door. He's very stupid. Without thinking twice, I walk outside cautiously. Aw man, we're in the woods. That's even worse. All I can see is that I'm not near the city. There are only towering trees around me. I walk quickly, unsure of where I'm headed. I need to hurry. It's starting to get dark, and I'm grateful that I grabbed the matches. I venture deeper into the forest, feeling the adrenaline in my body. Fear reflects on my face as I see a pack of wolves approaching slowly. I freeze for a moment, my breath quick and shallow. Can't believe it. The wolves come closer and closer. I have to escape. From this point on, the wolves approach every 60 seconds. You should choose the best path without rocks. Be careful and don't get caught. Without rocks. Okay. Okay. What? Are you serious? I stumble and fall to the ground, looking back in fear. The wolves are inches away from me. My eyes widen as I see a wolf suddenly collapsing. Oh God. Keith shoots the wolves, and they all start lunging at him. I hear Keith's groans. It seems one of them scratched him in the abdomen. I can see blood starting to flow, but he keeps shooting. Gradually, the remaining wolves flee. Dang, he has a gun. I gaze at Keith, and his look begins to fade. I watch him faint, torn between wanting to run into the forest and staying by his side. What do you mean? Stay by his side to get the gun. Can't help but feel guilty. Let out a sigh, filled with frustration. Maybe this is my chance to escape. But I decide to help him. I can see the house in the distance. I grab Keith's arm and drag him. Minutes feel like eternity, but I finally reach the house. I desperately search Keith's pockets and find the keys. I enter the house and bring him to the living room couch. I examine the wound. Fortunately, it's not deep enough to have hit any vital organs. Wow, you really care for him, huh? 3 days. We already have Stockholm Syndrome. I search for some thread and a needle to stitch his wound and stop the bleeding. I find him along with the emergency kit and do my best to treat him. My hands become covered in blood. I can feel the warm liquid staring at staining my hands. I don't know how I can show compassion even in my situation. I should let him... Oh, my bad. Let me go back. I should let him die, yet here I am trying to save his life. I finished stitching him up and tried to lift him to take him to his room. It's quite difficult since he's bigger than me, but I do my best. After some minutes, I managed to reach his room and lay him down in his bed. I lie down exhausted beside him, my breathing heavy. I lean closer to his chest to listen if his heart is still beating. I can feel his breath and hear his slow heartbeat, but at least he's alive. That's good. What are you doing? I hear a barely audible voice and I quickly move away. Heath looks at me, appearing extremely weak and angry. I wanted to see if you were still alive. He grabs me and pulls me into a hug. I can feel his body trembling with sadness and pain. I was so afraid of losing you forever. His eyes fill with sadness. He seems inconsolable. Are you okay? He continues to show interest and concern for my well-being, even after my attempt to escape. I'm fine, don't worry. Oh, I consciously did that again. Are you okay? I'm better now that you're here. I'm glad you're safe. I don't know what I would do if something happened to you. You mean everything to me, and I will never be complete without you. Why did you try to escape? Is it me? Is it because you haven't forgiven me yet? He sits on the bed with difficulty so that our eyes are at the same level. You have me kidnapped. I don't know why you don't understand. He lets out a sigh as the final tear falls down his cheek. When I was a child, there was a time when my father would yell and beat my mother. I would always stay quiet, watching him mistreat my mother. One night, my father came home drunk from work. He was more violent than usual, hitting her several times. She was already weak. I was afraid that night my father would kill my mother, so I took a knife from the kitchen and stabbed him in the back repeatedly. I could see the demon in his eyes, filled with rage, but gradually I saw life leave his body. I was protecting her. I knew someone had to do it. All I ever wanted from you was to love you and protect you, but you can't go about it the normal way. After a few seconds of silence, a loud sob is heard as I see his body shake with sobs. I approach him and hug him, trying to console him. I understand, I really do. You understand? He says, surprised as a look of hope grows in his face while he looks into my eyes. Do you understand me? Thank you. Thank you for accepting my love and not running away. He speaks softly, his tone becoming gentle and loving. Do you think you could stay with me tonight? I nod my head and then clean the blood off her face. I need to stay with him to make sure he doesn't bleed to death. It is just for that, right? I help him lie down slowly on the bed. I also lie down, feeling calm being next to him. I close my eyes. I feel him wrap his arms around me. I can remove him and distance myself from him, but I don't. I love you. It seems like he truly loves me, the way he speaks to me and holds me. There's hardly a way someone can fake a feeling like this. I slowly drift off to sleep. End of day 3. I yawn and stretch. This time I feel more rested than usual. The sun rises, slowly starting to fill the room with a bright light than before. I started to wake up and look around. Heath is still asleep. I noticed him next to me. The feeling made me feel comfort I've never experienced before. Maybe I should prepare something to eat and make him feel better. Okay. Okay. The kitchen is still messy from yesterday, so I clean everything up. It only takes me a few minutes. It's not like I made a big mess here. Finally, I can make something delicious to eat. I search for ingredients in the pantry and prepare lunch. I make pancakes and coffee. I head to the living room with breakfast, and Keith is already sitting at the table. I didn't hear him get up. He's very noiseless. I sit next to him to eat together. We don't talk during breakfast. He, like always, eats very quickly. Doesn't even look at me at all. It's just strange. Is he mad at me? I continue eating, trying to ignore his attitude. After a while, he gets up from his chair and grabs the dishes before walking to the sink and washing it. Afterward, he approaches me. I'm off to work. This time, you won't try something crazy, right? No, I promise. He takes a deep relief breath. That's good to hear. See you soon, dear. He leaves the house. There are a few things I like to do while I'm alone. Maybe I should read a book from Keith's shelf. He has too many. So we accepted our fate. Okay. I'm here. I hear Keith's voice in the living room, and within a few seconds he comes to the room. Oh dear, I missed you so much. I apologize for arriving late, but today's work has been very overwhelming. I touch my sleepy eyes. Reading consumed a lot of energy from me. You're still sleepy? Should we sleep then? Keith makes the bed. After a while, I'm heading to bed, hoping to rest. Do you think you could eventually love me? My eyebrows burrow as I immerse myself in my thoughts. I didn't expect that question. You have a choice here. This might affect the story, so no, let's do on with this since we're still here. So I'd like to say yes, but just thought about it. Stay silent. I'm not really sure. Seems like he understands. He just lies on the bed. I do the same. He hugged me tightly. I could feel his heart beating. My eyes, they feel heavy. I fall asleep. End of day 4. Good morning, dear. Feel some kisses in my cheek. I'm still half asleep to give it importance. It's time to wake up, he says in a loving way, not being able to get enough from me. He starts to slowly brush my hair with his fingers. I open my eyes. His face lights up. His eyes are bright, full of hope. Good morning, dear. Were you sleeping well? Yes, but why did you wake up early? I sit on the edge of the bed and yawn. I have a surprise for you. I hope you like flowers, although I think you're the most beautiful one. He walks outside and I follow him. I avoid looking too much at the outside to not make him feel insecure. Keith walks to the back of the house and I walk alongside him. I gaze at the garden behind the house, completely capturing my attention. Beautiful flowers adorn the place. Is there any specific flower you'd like to see there? Gardenias. I've never heard of these. Gardenias, it is then. A gentle smile grows on his face as he takes my hand and leads me into the garden. As we approach, I can see a variety of colors and fragrances filling the air. Do you know what they say about gardenias, my dear? They are generally known as a symbol of pure love. So they look like? He carefully picks a bouquet of gardenias, selecting different sizes and creating a beautiful arrangement. Turning to me, he presents the bouquet with a gentle smile. I feel a warmth in my heart as I accept the bouquet, appreciating the thought and effort he put into it. Thank you, Keith. It's beautiful. I'm glad you like it. This is the first time I give flowers to someone I loved. I've never met someone like you before. So wonderful, kind as you are. You are perfect. I love you and I think you love me too. No, you're mistaken. Do you know what you are to me? You are the best thing that ever happened to me. Since the first time I saw you, I've been completely yours. For me, has never been anyone for me, and there will never be. Please stop. What is it? What's wrong, my dear? You must stop. You don't love me. Why do you say that? I love you so deeply, it scares me at times. Never felt so happy and complete. I truly and deeply love you. So much that I can't bear the thought of losing you. He says softly, smiling happily, the words leaving a heavy emotional weight on my chest. I never felt this comfortable with anyone before. His words are so soft and gentle, I feel warm inside. What is this feeling? Is it true love? Is this what people call true love? Is this what I was born to feel? As we stay silent for a while, just looking at each other, he moves closer. Oh, dang it, I did it again. He moves closer, and I can feel my heart beating fast. It's getting dark. He looks up at the sky, nodding. Yeah, it seems so. We've been out here for a while, huh? The time flies by. I laugh softly. Her contagious laughter fills me with a warm feeling of love. Seeing you full of life, and just you in general, is the best feeling in the whole world. And I would give up everything I have just to see you happy. I feel a smile spreading onto my face. His words begin to make my heart flutter, and I can feel the heat on my cheeks growing. Well, it's time to go inside and get some sleep. We enter the house, and I walk towards Keith's room. He follows me inside and closes the door. I lie down on the bed, facing sideways, and he does the same. I feel so safe and protected by the gaze in his eyes. My heart starts beating faster, and my whole body trembles. I try to speak, but I remain silent, overwhelmed by the feeling of love as I get lost in his eyes. Oh. Might as well do the 18 plus stuff. It was not too explicit. I close my eyes and begin to kiss him. His hand comes to my cheeks, his fingers gently caressing my jaw. Small sigh escapes Keith's lips. He pulls me close to his chest. The feeling of love still overwhelms me, and my lips tremble from the sensation. I love you, he says softly, and then he begins to kiss me passionately. We end up laying in the laying position as I feel me on the low of him. My heartbeat begins to increase a little. Why do I feel warm every time I'm with him? You know how much I love you, right? He leaves me a longer and deeper kiss, causing my entire body to tremble and shiver with excitement. He places his hand on my waist and pulls me closer to him. Okay, now we're getting into it. Feel his... Oh. Are you okay, dear? I should have told you I just felt a bit lonely. Hope you're not uncomfortable. Dear, look at me. He notices the embarrassment on my face and smiles gently, giving me a reassuring look as he leans over me. You know I never hurt you, right? You're so special to me. We don't have to do this. We can sleep or do something else. Whatever you're comfortable with, my love. As long as I'm here and there for you, I'll be happy no matter what we do. I want this? I love you? My voice filled with an eerie sensation, yet I can't resist the sound of his voice. It fills me with comfort and love, even though I know I should feel scared. I feel so calm, so comfortable. So, let me show you how much I love you. Okay, his lips kiss my lips softly, yet not letting go. Soon, we pull away as he buries his head into my neck. Okay, this is all not yet. I tilted my head to the side, giving him more space. The kisses sent chills down my back. Oh, okay. I don't want to read the explicit stuff out loud because it kind of feels different when you're reading it out loud. Okay, certain time, everything. Okay. He looks at me with lust in his eyes, and I turn my gaze away in embarrassment. Keith gently grabs me by the neck, forcing me to look into his eyes. I feel the heat radiating from his skin. I love you. I love you too. I whisper softly. I feel my face heat up. My breathing increases a bit more. I can feel my heart beating fast once more. Do I really want to say that? He smiles and intensifies even more. He brings his face close to mine, so I close my eyes to kiss him. Okay. You guys can read this if you want. Yeah, I can't read this out loud. Okay, it's over. I close my eyes, catching my breath. He holds me tight as we drift off to sleep. I wake up, opening my eyes, feeling somewhat tired. The room remains dark. It must be still night. I look to my side and don't find Keith. Could he have gotten up to do something? I get out of bed and walk calmly down the hallway. My face fills with anguish, and tears fill my eyes as I look ahead. I freeze in shock, and my heart starts beating desperately. Oh? I swallow hard, trying to gather the courage to speak to him. Keith? I run towards Keith's room, leaving him alone in the living room. Quickly lock the door and lean against it. I bring my hands to my mouth as a gesture of horror. I don't even know what to think. My body feels frozen in shock and fear. Close my eyes, tears flowing down my cheeks as I think about everything that has happened. No. Damien can't be dead. Calm down, Susie. You can cry later. Who the heck is Damien? I should look for things to help me get out of here. When you hear breathing, you must hide. Who is Damien? What's this? It looks like a strong box that's locked. Maybe if I find the code I can open it? Footsteps are approaching the room, hide under the bed. Susie, it's me. I have no intention of hurting you. I just want to be with you so we can talk. Dear, I know you're in shock, but trust me, you'll thank me later. You will fall more in love with me. You don't need any friends, you have me. Oh, that was a friend of ours. Open the door, dear. Open the door. Open the freaking door. Susie, where are you, dear? Seems like he's gone. He didn't even bother to search here. I need to change my location. I can't stay in the same place. Living room, kitchen. Let's go in the kitchen. I anxiously look around. Keith doesn't seem to be here. I have to hurry. Search. There's no knife. Keith probably hid them. Start searching every surface in the kitchen, moving objects and looking behind them. But I don't find anything significant. Better hide. I hear some footsteps in the distance behind the door. Doesn't seem like he's going to come in right now. I continue searching, opening the drawers. I look with hope upon finding a key. Hide. Here we hide. He pushes the door open, walking in the kitchen. Please believe me. I can protect you. I come very far just to be next to you, and I could do anything to stay by your side. I breathe slowly, trying to calm me down. Dear, why are you so scared? Don't you know I love you with all my heart? He walks back and forth, searching for his gaze. I'll always love you, dear. Not much time passes and he walks away. I need to change my location. There's nothing else to find here. Living room? I quickly run until I reach the living room. Keith doesn't seem to be here. Search. I frantically search among the cushions of the sofa. I don't find anything. Search. I make my way to the table and start searching meticulously on its surface. Still don't find anything. Check the shelves, quickly moving books and decorative objects. Find a small piece of paper. It has a sequence of numbers written on it. 143. Wonder if it has any meaning. I make my way to the dresser. I focus on the drawers of the furniture, opening and closing them. I finish by checking the last drawer. Let's hide. He exits his room, searching the living room. I'll find you, my dear, whether you like it or not. Can't hide forever, he said while grinning I can't say this word. And I walk slowly in the living room. He starts banging objects while searching around the room. Damn it, where are you? He examines the living room before walking away, seemingly confused. Breathes a sigh of relief and decides to use the code in the safe. Wait, the safe in the Keith's room? I return to the room and start approaching the strong box. 1, 4, 3. The strong box opens and I see my cell phone, a photo of myself under a key and my perfume. I take the keys, which have a tag that says special room. Must be for the room that I was locked up on the first day. Grab my cell phone. I should call the police. No signal. There is probably better signal outside. Put the cell phone in my pocket. Take a pause, trying to control my breathing and think clearly. Maybe Damien is in the special room. It's the only place I haven't checked. I open the room as quickly as possible and close it again. Susie? Damien. Our eyes meet. Relief floods my face. Damien, I finally found you. I thought you were... I quickly approached Damien, analyzing every part of his body. Keith must have stabbed him in the arm and stomach. The wounds are deep. You have no idea how much I wanted to see you. I move closer to hug him. Come on, we need to get you out of here. Can you walk? Damien nods and I take deep breaths to calm myself. Must be very careful. I walk towards the door and lean closer to listen if Keith is nearby. Let's not leave. Look at Damien and put my index finger to my lips, indicating for him to be silent. Hold my breath as the footsteps approach. You can take as much time as you need, take as much time as you want. I'll wait. I'll wait for you, my dear. The footsteps stop in front of the door, and I can hear some murmurs behind it. Susie will forgive me. Maybe later on, Susie will understand and love me again. I just know it. After a few minutes of silence, the footsteps recede. I approach Damien and help him up. He leans on me as we make our way to the living room, avoiding making any noise. Take the key to the living room out of my pocket and approach the door. Press until it opens. Come on, open the door. Let's escape. Damien holds my hand as we emerge into the dark forest. In the distance, I can see some lights, what seems to be the city. Hope shines in my eyes, hastening our pace with desperation. Susie. I startle at the sound of my name. He stops and turns towards me. Are you okay? All my attention was on him once I heard his question. I was confused and scared, my stomach filled with a feeling of nausea as I look at him. I stay quiet, as the horrors of the night still haunt me. It's only now that I realize that since I found him, I haven't fully looked at him. I've been focused on escaping that I haven't had time to think. I shake my head. Would you like to get some cheese and nachos after this mess? Like old times? I smile slightly, hugging him as I feel protected. I'll always be there for you, Susie. He hugged me tighter and comforting me as was always one of his best abilities. In that instance, when I felt him hug me, I felt so much love. I look at him with a deep connection. Oh, excuse me. Finally, I'm safe. We got the good ending. You managed to escape together with Damien. Okay, so back here, we have the choice in the beginning to, go out on a date with him or not. So I'll say no. Ew. Who said straight up said ew? No. Why would I accept going out with a stranger?
Just trying to be nice.
I'm not interested.
I'm just trying to be nice.
Oh, okay. I turned around and headed home. I have no reason to stay outside. I knew he was rude to me, but I really dislike when a stranger is overconfident with me. I never enjoy talking to strangers. It makes me feel uncomfortable. His eyes didn't show me that he was trustworthy, although his smile said the opposite. Well, you were right. I can't explain it. I just feel mistrust, but at the same time he seemed charming. I arrived home not realizing it was already 5 p.m. I started cleaning and preparing my meal. It only took me a few hours. After eating, I make my way to my room. I lie down on my bed to read the book. Maybe it's the only worthwhile thing that I saw from the bookstore. I immerse myself in the reading. It's about a boy, apparently. A boy with crazy eyes or something. I turned on my cell phone. Damien texted me. Damien is my old friend. He was studying with me before I left university. Oh, yeah. I've completely forgotten him already. After finishing his studies, he moved to another city and I stayed here. I've always been very close to him. He promised to come back and visit me when he had his vacation. Sometimes I thought he would forget me, but apparently that's not the case. So he says, how was your day? Nothing special, just relaxing, and we're traveling and whatnot. Without your presence in the city, my routine has become boring. Are you calling me a clown? Oh god, no, I would never. I just think I value your friendship a lot in my life. Me too. I can't wait to be with you. I start feeling sleepy. I check the time, it's already night. I should go to sleep once and for all. That's a knock. Man, I just realized people can easily break into your home. It's kind of freaky. Okay. So it's the same thing? Okay, yeah. So I have the choice to kill him or run. We're gonna try killing him now. I walked to the kitchen searching for the sharpest knife. I found a small but sharp one, enough to try to defend myself. I went back to the living room and hide behind the door. All I could do now is wait. I have to make it or he'll kill me. I reserve my hands trembling, worried that I won't succeed. The thought of being caught fills me with terror. I try to stay calm as I wait. Hope things go well and I can escape from here. I hear footsteps approaching the front door. The door opens. I plunge a knife into his abdomen with force. He looks at me in shock. I feel great disgust when the feeling of how the knife went through each layer of skin. His eyes fill with tears as he lets out a low, agonizing scream. What have you done to me? His voice resonates in the room, his tone turning cold and severe. His brow furrows, and I can see his eyes dilating in pain. He removes the knife from his abdomen and applies pressure, trying to prevent further bleeding. He falls to his knees, still looking at me, revealing sadness and anguish on his face. Why did you do this to me? Why do you want to hurt me so bad? He speaks with a broken voice and falls silent for a moment. He seems lost in his thoughts for a moment. He lifts his gaze and tears begin to fall on his face. Please, don't leave me, my dear. I love you. He looks utterly devastated, and I start feeling pity seeing him so vulnerable. I just want you to love me. I watch as he faints and collapses completely to the floor. He didn't even try to attack me back. He just gave up, overwhelmed by his pain. I want to walk away, but I remain still. I can't help but feel guilt. I let out a sigh filled with anguish. Perhaps this is my opportunity to escape. But I decide to help him. I take Keith by the arms and pull him to the sofa in the living room. I want to see what happens if we leave when we know that he's there at the door. Okay, so we clearly hear his breathing. We know he's around our area, but I'm still gonna try to leave. I open the door and cautiously step out. I step out first to see if Keith is nearby, but I don't see him. Quietly approach the door to the living room and try to open it. There you are. Arms are wrapped around me from behind and startling me. I struggle to break free from his grip. Did you think you can escape me so easily, Susie? You're mine. And no matter how much you try to run, I'll always find you. He carries me against the room, locking it behind me. I quickly approach Damien. I hug him, trying to feel protected. Are you okay? I nod, and I can feel my body trembling in fear. He looks at me calmly. He always has been the kind of guy who is peaceful and serene. And peaceful? Even in the most dreadful of situations, he manages to remain calm, as if everything will be alright in the end. I let out outside as I move closer, gripping to him. Damien? I see Keith behind him, his hands holding a blood-covered knife. I start crying in desperation. Damien, please stay with me. Don't worry, Susie. Maybe in another life, we will have a different ending together. Promise you with me, you will stay with me. I say with a choked voice. I didn't break my promise. Told you I'll come back to see you. Damien said, gently wiping my tears away. I will always stay with you because my heart belongs to you. Damien sighs softly, slowly closing his eyes. Keith approaches and pulls me away from him. I stop struggling, feeling defeated. Hope slowly fades as I surrender. He sees me crying, then all the anger he had built up disappeared. Dear, why do you have to cry? Look at you. You're so beautiful. Why do you have to taint it with your tears? He puts his hand on my cheek, then caresses my face. There was so much pain that you were going through. I can relate to that. I hate to see you cry. I feel like my heart is being ripped from my chest. I know what I did was terrible and that there's no forgiveness, but I'll always wait for your forgiveness. He gently hugs me and my body starts to shake as tears continue streaming down my face. I love you, dear. His words come out softly like a whisper. He wipes away my tears, my emotions going out of control as I continue sobbing. I look into his eyes and gently hug him tightly. Oh, we have two choices here. We can say that we love him too, or take the knife from his hands. Okay, let's say that we love him too. I love you too. I say softly, for my voice breaks and I begin to sob. I hear the knife Keith was holding falls to the ground. I feel my body shaking as I cry. He hugs me even tighter while stroking my back. I can see you're scared, but there's nothing to fear. Keith starts breathing real slowly, trying to calm me down. He knew I needed that. He pulls away a little, looking into my eyes, and smiles. A look of love and endearment spread through his eyes as I calm down. Are you feeling okay, dear? He says softly, then gently caressing my cheek. It's okay. You never have to be scared of me again. He gives me a reassuring smile. A soft sigh escapes from my lips. He made me feel loved, wanted, cared for, all the things I could only wish for. I will never cause a scene like tonight again. I'll be more careful to take care of you and protect you. I'll do everything in my power, I promise that. He gently wrapped his arms around me. In that instant, when I felt him hug me, I feel so much love. His love for me is so sweet, but it's difficult to comprehend and accept. But it is fair and right to do so. Now, my dear, it's better if we go rest, he says in a warm tone. He carries me and takes me to his room. I know it will be difficult to earn your trust again, but I'm willing to wait my whole life just to earn your love. I'm now allowing my illusion of love to cloud my judgment, right? This is what I wanted, what I always desired. What is this? Something ending. Found true love. I think we also have some issues too, because we're kind of like, I don't know, that's really sad. Okay, now I shall take the knife from his hands. Take the knife in a quick motion and bury it deep within his abdomen. His eyes widen in panic. Take it out and bury it again, sinking the knife deeper each time. My stomach fills with a feeling of nausea as I look at him. Oh. A tear rolls down his cheeks, then a loud sob escapes him. After a few seconds of sobbing, I hear him speak. You know, I never found meaning in my life, but when I met you, everything changed. Literally, I lived and existed for you, he says softly as his voice trembles. I knew what would happen if I took the risk of loving you and the consequences, but I don't regret loving you, even if it cost me my life. I love you, Susie. He says that before closing his eyes and breathing slowly. I can see how life slowly fades from his eyes. I check the pockets of my coat and I find the keys to the main entrance. I walk to the living room and open the front door. I step outside, still in shock. I pause for a moment. Turn to look at my trembling hands covered in blood. A shiver goes down my spine. I start crying in despair, still not understanding. I have lost everything. Bad ending, or alone forever. Dang. Okay, that is the end of mine. That was interesting because the character we played as kind of just accepted their fate, like accepted being with him, probably because he wasn't so crazy, I guess. And I'm guessing our friend Damien, he was able to find us because he tracked our phone location. I guess it wasn't turned off completely, so we were able to track it. So yeah, that was very interesting. There's going to be even a chapter 2. This is just chapter 1, so there's going to be a chapter 2. I wonder how chapter 2 is going to be. Like, if we'll delve more into his, Keith's, childhood and past to see how he grew up and eventually became who he is today. He wasn't in love with our character. Right? He just really obsessed. And he just mistook that obsession for love, basically. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Bye!